We're now talking with Mr. Don Cardy, who is chairman of Porter. And Mr. Cardy, today's news is really interesting. It sounds to me like the way forward for Porter today to get permission to grow the airport physically, to allow the airplane to be used here, is going to be some sort of trade-off between politics of noise and economics.
Well, I guess you could look at it that way, but I think actually the politics are a lot more complex than just the politics of noise. You know, as we underscored at today's presentation, this is an incredibly quiet airplane. It's not like the jets that were ever envisaged back in the 80s. It's in effect as quiet as the Q400 that we operate today. So there's not a lot of noise we're talking about here. I think the real politics is the politics of the activity at the airport, the economic benefits, yes, but the accessibility, the value for consumers, I think those are all going to enter into this discussion.
And the noise issue, is it as big as people think it is? I mean, the media here seems to be thinking that's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, I think the noise issue will turn out to be a much smaller issue than people think, as it was when we first launched service. I can remember being interviewed by the media as down here when we were first launching service, and a reporter asking me about it, and I said, well, as we're talking, there's an airplane taking off 100 yards behind us. And she turned around and said, oh my goodness, yes there is. So these are quiet airplanes. This is not like the 50s and 60s and 70s.
One last question then. In terms of growing the airport, in terms of more frequencies, more activity at the airport, how much of a problem is that physically can the airport handle this increase in activity? Well,
the increasing activity brings new constraints. Right now, for example, the ferry is fairly full now on a busy day. And on occasion, somebody might even have to wait for a second ferry. So that piece of the infrastructure is very close to capacity. We're building a tunnel, that will relieve that. As we add flights, a very comfortable terminal will become a little more crowded again. So we'll have to expand the terminal. And then of course there's just the physical plant of the runway itself. But we have the capacity to, as we remove those constraints, to grow quite a bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.